Welcome everybody, Jack here from Gingerbets and welcome to the Gingerbets Golf Betting Insights weekly YouTube show, where this week I'm previewing the Rocket Mortgage Classic taking place in Detroit at Detroit Golf Club itself. Who will lift the trophy come Sunday evening? Well, stay tuned, because in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to be breaking down the course, looking at the key skill sets required and bringing you those all-important outright selections. Let's hope that we can continue the momentum that we've had over recent weeks, and let's hope that we can build on last year's Rocket Mortgage Classic results, where we predicted not only the winner at 150 to 1, but the runner-up at 125 to 1. So if you're into golf betting, then you've come to the right place. Each and every week, Gingerbets break down the course, look at the skill sets required, and bring you the best outright selections. But in addition to that, if you're taking your golf betting more seriously in 2022, then can I encourage you, have a look in the description box below. You'll see it just over my shoulder here, but we produce a free weekly newsletter direct to your inbox each and every week that's got so much more information than I can bring you in these short videos. It's sure to save you time, it's sure to make you more informed, and right now it's definitely pointing you in the direction of more winners. So if you're into golf betting, register for the free Golf Betting Weekly Insights newsletter. All the details in the description box below. But most of you tuned in to get this week's selections, so let's not keep you waiting any longer and let's get straight into the action. This week sees us at a par 72 at Detroit Golf Club, a traditional layout. 4 par 3s, 4 par 5s, and the rest made up of par 4s varying in length from 330 yards all the way up to 450 yards plus this week. The greens this week are a mix of grass. They are Poana and bent grass mix, so when doing your research, pay attention to those players that have got good putting stats on these surfaces. The course this week will play easy for all the players, and I'm expecting a winning score of nearly 25 under par this week. It is certainly one of the easiest golf courses that the players face on the whole of the PGA Tour. So expect to see low scoring, plenty of birdies, plenty of eagles, and plenty of excitement throughout the week. Let's get into those key skill sets. What are the key skill sets that are going to be required to lift that trophy come Sunday evening? Well, I've done that research for you, and in the next 2 or 3 minutes, I'm going to be bringing it your way. If you want more time to digest this information, though, don't forget you can sign up to the newsletter. All the details in the description box below. No sales pitch, no spam, just well-researched information direct to your inbox each and every week. So for me this week, the key skill sets will start off with the foundation of all good golf, and that's tee to green performance. I want players that are dialed in with every club in the bag, and I want to look at the last 24, 36 rounds and their tee to green performance. So that's where I encourage you to start your research this week. I then want to look at the proximity to the hole from 75 to 125 yards. Quite simply, there are more shots at this course than there are at the average PGA Tour event from this distance. And the reason being, we've got plenty of short risk and reward par 4s this week, and we've got some long par 5s that will require a wedge play to go into them. You won't be able to reach it in 2 shots. So therefore, we've got a high percentage of shots from 75 to 125 yards. Who's dialed in? Well, I've done that research for you, but if you're doing your own, then I encourage you to look at that key metric. Then want to look at par 4 scoring in general, but most importantly on those risk and reward holes of 350 to 400 yards. There's 5 of them each day, and I want players on side that dominate those short par 4s and can take advantage when they have wedge in hand. Then want to look at birdies or better, conversion rate and birdies made over the last 24, 36 rounds on tour. You're going to have to go low this week. You're going to have to make plenty of them. So let's have a look at those players that come here with birdies in the bag and all parts of their game firing. And last, but certainly not least, in fact, it's probably the most significant factor in determining success this week. 2019 champion Nate Lashley, second in strokes gained putting on the week. 2020 champion, first in strokes gained putting, Bryson DeChambeau. Last year's runner-up was second in strokes gained putting. That tells you the importance of gaining strokes on the greens this week. I want players on side that can putt very well, and barring my headline selection, then they do that in abundance. So to recap, it's tee to green performance, proximity to the hole from 75 to 125, birdie or better conversion, par 4 scoring, particularly looking at the 350 to 400 yard range, and finally, last but not least, strokes gained putting. That leads me on now to the bit that you all tune in for, really. It's the outright selections. We had a disappointing week last week, but we've been on a fire recently, so we can't begrudge ourselves one bad week. Let's bounce back this week. We have form for getting the winner here. Last year, 150 to 1, Cam Davis. Runner-up, 125 to 1, Troy Merritt. I'm not sure that will ever be repeated while I'm putting up golf predictions, but here's to trying this week. The odds aren't as lucrative, but let's get to it with our best outright selections. Headlining the portfolio then is a man seeking his first PGA Tour win. He's the best player in the world without a PGA Tour to his name, in my humble opinion. Headlining the portfolio, Will Zalatoris, 16 to 1, BetMGM, 16 to 1 in the UK. He will headline the portfolio for the week. First in birdies made over the last 24 rounds on tour. He drives the ball as well as anyone in this field. He's the best tee to green player over the last 50 rounds in this field. If he can gain strokes on the green this week, then he's bound to go close. In fact, if he gains strokes on the green, I'd be shocked if he does not win this golf tournament this week. So headlining the portfolio, 16 to 1, Will Zalatoris. Second selection of the week, well, he did it for us last year at 150 to 1. I'm not going to desert him this year, albeit his odds are less lucrative. He comes in here in much better form. Miscut last year heading in. This year, he arrives on the back of 3 top 10 finishes in his last 6 events. At 33 to 1 with BetMGM, 40 to 1 in the UK. Cameron Davis will be the second selection of the week. He's first in proximity to the hole from 75 to 100 yards over the last 50 rounds on tour. He's gained strokes with approach play in 10 of his last 11 events. Gained strokes with a flat stick in 9 of his last 10. Trending in the right direction. I was on him last week. I'm willing to give him one more week. I believe he's got an outstanding chance on a track that he definitely loves. While his game is in tip-top shape, he will be the second selection of the week. Third selection of the week is a player that was in hot form earlier on in the year, but I believe he's still got some form to his name over recent weeks, and that's demonstrated by the fact that he's got 2 top 10s in his last 6 starts worldwide. Chris Kirk at 45 to 1 will be the third selection of the week. He's available at 50 to 1 in the UK. He's gained strokes in all the key skill set areas off the tee, approach play around the green and putting over his last 5 events on tour. He's ranked 7th in par 4 scoring over his last 24 rounds on tour. He's 8th in proximity to the hole from 100 to 125 yards. We know that these are all key metrics for determining success this week. And he's ranked 9th in overall tee to green performance over the last 24 rounds on tour. At 50 to 1, Chris Kirk will be the third selection of the week. Fourth selection of the week is a player that has got a similar profile to last year's winner. He hits it miles off the tee. Also like 2020 champion Bryson DeChambeau, another player that gains strokes off the tee. Well, this guy's game is built on his off the tee performance. He's one of the best off the tee in the whole of the PGA Tour. He'll be in the top 5 for driving distance this week without a shadow of a doubt. At 80 to 1, Wyndham Clark will be my fourth selection of the week. He ranks 6th in par 4 scoring over the last 24 rounds on tour. 17th in strokes gained putting over the last 24 rounds on tour. In the top 20 for tee to green performance over the last 24 rounds on tour. All parts of his game firing, and his odds reflect his chance, but at huge odds and a tournament that has thrown up huge price winners in the past, I'm prepared to give him a chance at 80 to 1. Fourth selection of the week, Wyndham Clark. And the fifth and final selection of the week is a new player to many of you out there, but he's a young prodigy coming off the Corn Ferry Tour into the PGA Tour, and at 80 to 1, or in the 80 to 1 with BetMGM, should I say, available at 100 to 1 in the UK. Then this is a player that I believe we're going to hear more about in years to come. Nick Hardy will be the fifth and final selection of the week. He's a serious young talent that absolutely bombs it off the tee, just like the previous 2 winners. He's got 2 top 10s on PGA Tour events recently. Finished in the top 10 at the Travelers. He also finished in the top 20 at the US Open. Don't forget, back in 2015, when this guy was just 20 years of age, he finished in the top 50 at Chambers Bay in the 2015 US Open. So this is a guy that comes here with a bit of pedigree, albeit a new name to many. I believe that he's got an outstanding chance of gaining his first PGA Tour success this week in a weakened field. So the fifth and final selection will be Nick Hardy, 80-1 BetMGM, 100-1 in the UK. That's my five for this week. So to recap for you, Zalatoris, Cam Davis, Chris Kirk, Wyndham Clark, and last but not least, Nick Hardy. He's a new name to many, but he's one that you'll hear of plenty, that I can promise you. Thank you very much for listening. And if you're into your golf betting, if you're looking to take it more seriously, I may encourage you, have a look in the description box and sign up for the Gingerbets Golf Betting Insights weekly newsletter. Sure to save you time, it's sure to make you more informed, and right now it's pointing you in the direction of more winners. Thank you very much for listening, and good luck this week with all your selections. Bye from me.